Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz, Chapter 14, How to Get That Winning Feeling, Part 1. Your automatic creative mechanism is teleological. That is, it operates in terms of goals and end results. Once you give it a definite goal to achieve, you can depend upon its automatic guidance system to take you to that goal much better than you could ever by conscious thought. You supply the goal by thinking in terms of end results. Your automatic mechanism then supplies the means whereby. If your muscles need to perform some motion to bring about the end result, your automatic mechanism will guide them much more accurately and delicately than you could by taking thought. If you need ideas, your automatic mechanism will supply them. Think in terms of possibilities. But to accomplish this, you must supply the goal. And to supply a goal capable of activating your creative mechanism, you must think of the end result in terms of present possibility. The possibility of the goal must be seen so clearly that it becomes real to your brain and nervous system. So real, in fact, that the same feelings are evoked as would be present if the goal were already achieved. This is not so difficult nor so mystical as it may first appear. You and I do it every day of our lives. What, for example, is worry about possible unfavorable future results accompanied by feelings of anxiety, inadequacy, or perhaps humiliation? For all practical purposes, we experience the very same emotions in advance that would be appropriate if we had already failed. We picture failure to ourselves, not vaguely or in general terms, but vividly and in great detail. We repeat the failure images over and over again to ourselves. We go back in memory and dredge up memory images of past failures. Remember what has been emphasized earlier. Our brain and nervous system cannot tell the difference between real experience and one that is vividly imagined. Our automatic mechanism always acts and reacts appropriately to the environment, circumstance, or situation. The only information concerning the environment, circumstance, or situation available to it is what you believe to be true concerning them. Your nervous system can't tell real failure from imagined failure. Thus, if we dwell upon failure and continually picture failure to ourselves in such vivid detail that it becomes real to our nervous system, we will experience the feelings that go with that failure. On the other hand, if we keep our positive goal in mind and picture it to ourselves so vividly as to make it real and think of it in terms of an accomplished fact, we will also experience winning feelings, self-confidence, courage, and faith that the outcome will be desirable. We cannot consciously peek into our creative mechanism and see whether it is geared for success or failure, but we can determine its presence set by our feelings. When it is set for success, we experience that winning feeling. Setting your machinery for success. And if there's one simple secret to the operation of your unconscious creative mechanism, it is this. Call up, capture, and evoke the feelings of success. When you feel successful and self-confident, you will act successfully. When the feeling is strong, you can literally do no wrong. The winning feeling itself does not cause you to operate successfully, but it is more in the nature of a sign or symptom that we are geared for success. It is more like a thermometer, which does not cause the heat in the room, but measures it. However, we can use this thermometer in a very practical way. Remember, when you experience that winning feeling, your internal machinery is set for success. Too much effort to consciously bring about spontaneity is likely to destroy spontaneous action. It is much easier and more effective to simply define your goal or end result. Picture it to yourself clearly and vividly. Then simply capture the feeling you would have experienced if the desirable goal were already an accomplished fact. Then you are acting spontaneously and creatively. Then you are using the powers of your subconscious mind. Then your internal machinery is geared for success, to guide you in making the correct muscular motions and adjustments, to supply you with creative ideas, and to do whatever else is necessary in order to make the goal an accomplished fact. How that winning feeling won a golf tournament. Dr. Gary Middlecoff, writing in the April 1956 issue of Esquire magazine, said, "The winning feeling is the real secret of championship golf." 4 days before I hit my first drive in the Masters last year, I had a feeling that I was sure to win the tournament, he said. I felt that every move I made in getting to the top of my backswing put my muscles in perfect position to hit the ball exactly as I wanted to. And in putting, too, that marvelous feeling came to me. I knew I hadn't changed my grip any, and my feet were in usual position, but there was something about the way I felt that gave me a line to the cup just as clearly as if I'd been tattooed on my brain. With that feeling, all I had to do was swing the clubs and let nature take its course. Middlecoff goes on to say that the winning feeling is everybody's secret to good golf, that when you have it, the ball even bounces right for you, and that it seems to control that elusive element called luck. Don Larson, the only man in history to pitch a perfect game in the World Series, said that the night before, he had the crazy feeling that he would pitch perfectly the next day. Several years ago, sports pages all over the country headlined the sensational play of Johnny Menger, bantam-sized halfback from Georgia Tech in the postseason bowl game. "I had the feeling when I got up that morning I was going to have a good day," said Menger. This may be tough, but it can be lived. There's a truly, there's truly, there is truly magic in this winning feeling. It can seemingly cancel out obstacles and impossibilities. It can use errors and mistakes to accomplish success. J.C. Penney tells how he heard his father say on his deathbed, "I know Jim will make it." From that time forward, Penney felt that he would succeed somehow, although he had no tangible assets, no money, no education. The chain J.C. Penney stores was built upon many impossible circumstances and discouraging moments. Whenever Penny would get discouraged, however, he would remember the prediction of his father, and he would feel that somehow he could whip the problem facing him. After making a fortune, he lost it all at an age when most men have long since been retired. He found himself penniless, past his prime, and with little tangible evidence to furnish reason for hope. But again he remembered the words of his father, and soon recaptured the feeling, which had now become habitual with him. He rebuilt his fortune, and in a few years was operating more stores than ever. Henry J. Kaiser has said, "When a tough, challenging job is to be done, I look for a person who possesses an enthusiasm and optimism for life, who makes a zestful, confident attack on his daily problems, one who shows courage and imagination, who pins down his buoyant spirit with careful planning and hard work, but says, 'This may be tough, but it can be lived.'" How that winning feeling made Les Skidlin successful. Les Skidlin, founder of this famous Les Skidlin Human Relations Clinic and author of the book How to Have Power and Confidence in Dealing with People, read the first draft of this chapter, then told me how imagination coupled with that winning feeling had worked like magic on his career. Les had been a successful salesman and sales manager for years. He had done some public relations work and had gained some degree of reputation as an expert in the field of human relations. He liked his work, but he wanted to broaden his field. His big interest was people, and after years of study, both theoretical and practical, he thought he had some answers to the problems people often have with other people. He wanted to lecture on human relations. However, his one big obstacle was lack of experience in public speaking. One night, Les told me, I was lying in bed thinking of my one big desire. The only experience I had had as a public speaker was addressing small groups of my own salesmen in sales meetings, and a little experience I had in the Army when I served as part-time as an instructor. The very thought of getting up before a big audience scared the wits out of me. I just couldn't imagine myself doing it successfully. Yet I could talk to my own salesmen with the greatest of ease. I had been able to talk to groups of soldiers without any trouble. Lying there in bed, I recaptured in memory the feeling of success and confidence I had had in talking with these small groups. I remembered the little incidental details that had accompanied my feelings of poise. Then in my imagination I pictured myself standing before a huge audience and making a talk on human relations, and at the same time having the same feeling of poise and self-confidence I had had with smaller groups. I pictured to myself in detail just how I would stand. I could feel the pressure of my feet on the floor. I could see the expressions on people's faces, and I could hear the applause. I saw myself making a talk successfully, going over with a bang. Something seemed to click in my mind. I felt elated. Right at that moment, I felt I could do it. I had welded the feeling of confidence and success from the past to the picture in my imagination of my career in the future. My feeling of success was so real that I knew right then I could do it. I got what you call that winning feeling, and it has never deserted me. Although there seemed to be no door open to me at the time, and the dream seemed impossible, in less than 3 years' time I saw my dream come true, almost in exact detail, as I had imagined it and felt it. Because of the fact that I was relatively unknown and because of my lack of experience, no major booking agency wanted me. This didn't deter me. I booked myself, and I still do. I have more opportunities for speaking engagements than I can fill. Today, Les Giblin is known as an authority on human relations. It is not unusual for him to earn several $1,000s for a single night's work. Over 200 of the largest corporations in America have paid him thousands of dollars to conduct human relations clinics for their employees. His book, How to Have Confidence and Power, has become a classic in the field, and it all got started with a picture in his imagination and that winning feeling. How science explains that winning feeling. The science of cybernetics throws new light on just how the winning feeling operates. We have previously shown how electronic servo mechanisms make use of stored data, comparable to human memory, to remember successful actions and then repeat them. Skill learning is largely a matter of trial and error practice until a number of hits or successful actions have registered in memory. Cybernetic scientists have built what they call an electronic mouse, which can learn its way through a maze. The first time through the first time through the mouse makes numerous errors. It constantly bumps into walls and obstructions, but each time it bumps into an obstruction, it turns 90 degrees and tries again. If it runs into another wall, it makes another turn and goes forward again. Eventually, after many errors, stops and turns, the mouse gets through the open space in the maze. The electronic mouse, however, remembers the turns that were successful, and the next time through, these successful motions are reproduced or played back, and the mouse goes through the open space quickly and efficiently. The object of practice is to make repeated trials, constantly correct errors, then until a hit is scored. When a successful pattern of action is performed, the entire action pattern from beginning to end is not only stored in what we call conscious memory, but in our very nerves and tissues. Folk language can be very intuitive and descriptive. When we say, I had a feeling in my bones that I could do it, we are not far from wrong. And Dr. Carey Middlecoff said, there was something about the way I felt that it gave me a line to the cup just as clearly as if it had been tattooed on my brain. He is perhaps unknowingly, very aptly, describing the scientific concept of just what happens in the human mind when we learn, remember, or imagine.